Weekly update for Friday, February 23rd. And this just in, well, just in as of Wednesday when I'm recording this. Rowan James Robinson, born surprise Tuesday, 5:24 a.m. after very brief labor. That is a surprise. Rachel was due on the 27th. All well with miter and child. More soon. Best, Sean. More children soon? Anyway. Miter and child? Mind your manners, son. I've got a tall, pointy hat. Status, boy. You can argue with me, but you can't argue with status. Which is a nice segue into one of our auction items this week, which is remastered edition Cerebus trade number 1 out of 1. This is a test that Alfonso and Sandy ran up at Studio Comics Press. So it says right on it, Studio Comics Press test, February 2018, number 1 out of 1, right there on the cover. There's actually 2 copies of this. The other one has been sent to Sean Robinson, and I'm sure he won't be looking at that anytime soon, but he will be the one who will tell us if it is possible for Studio Comics Press to do Cerebus trade paperbacks, because they could definitely do smaller print runs. And I've even put a Cerebus Archive first release gold seal on the back cover, just to make the whole thing completely official. Okay, and that brings us to the auctions. And this from Dave Fisher. When I returned from New Zealand, I got right into batch editing all correspondence letters Rolly scanned in late 2017, starting at folder year 1989 and stopping at folder year 2013. The scans have been rotated, color balanced, and duplicated for left and right pages. They are also in date-specific folders, but none of the letters has yet been tagged with names or addresses or dates appended. Batch editing can take care of the dates easy enough, but the tagging for individual letters is time-consuming. I finished up the last folder of 2013 right after hearing the printing and money / auction concerns on Friday the 9th. The correspondence scans for folders post 2013 are on hold awaiting further instruction. I billed hours on the eBay labor. I don't know whether I should be doing this and or how the eBay earnings will be divided. Will I be giving you the full funds, and then you'll pay Rolly and I from this fund depending on our billed hours? Please advise. And well, we're going to wait and see how much money comes in. I do have an invoice from Fisher for the work that he just described and various other things that he was doing, which was about a little under $400. And just waiting to find out how much money came in on the first week of auctions. I know that we did have a winning bid on the number 000 Cerebus Archive number 7. And sincere thanks to our bidder on that one for bidding that up to $190. But I haven't heard about the results of the subsequent 5 auctions, the 4 proofs, and then the week's worth of Cerebus and Hell strips. So at that point, it's either this will pay Fisher's outstanding invoice, and now we have to wait and see what next week's auctions brings in. But yes, definitely, I think Fisher should be billing for the eBay labor, since that is part of his job, and he shouldn't be doing that for free. At the same time, if he didn't bill for it, then there'd be more money for him and Rolly. So it's kind of confusing, but we'll work on that as we go along. And that brings us to our next auction item for this week. which is The Life and Legend of Wallace Wood, #2. And originally I thought, okay, somebody's sending this to me as a way of saying, Dave, why don't you get a gun and just blow your head off? But evidently that wasn't the case. I forgot that I had given Fantagraphics permission to use the drawing that I had done of Wally Wood in Glamourpuss #6 back in 2009, and they ran that in a portfolio section of pictures of Wally Wood. That's me up in the corner there, right next to Bob Crumb. So I have signed that and written Dave Sim contributors copy, 14 February 2018. Very depressing book, very depressing guy. I saw Wally Wood, the only time that I saw him was 1981 at the San Diego Comic-Con at the cocktail reception at the beginning of the show, and that was 3 or 4 months before he shot himself. He shot himself on Halloween 1981, and definitely did not look like he had too much further to go. So interesting recollections of Wally Wood. Way too much pornography for my taste, and having lived through the nightmare of alcohol, reading about somebody who didn't manage to climb out of that pit is, well, it's not the most enjoyable reading, but there is some good artwork in here. There is some jobs that I did stop and go, that's really good. So if you want the contributors copy of Dave Sim's contributors copy of The Life and Legend of Wallace Wood, there's only one of those, and that will be going up for auction this week. Fisher will have that up for you. Let's see, we got another auction item. This one I dug out. This can be, this will be signed on the cover and personalized. The Too Much Coffee Man War Edition. Too Much Coffee Man magazine. And Shannon Wheeler asked me to do the cover. This was pretty much right after Cerebus came to an end in 2004. And I did U.S. Soldier in Afghanistan, Too Much Coffee Man, and Claude Flowers got me a meals ready to eat that the troops use for cappuccino, mocha, as they say in the military. So that's what I put on his head, and on the wall behind him I did 2 Arab Too Much Coffee Men, the mullahs of many demitasses, and that was one of the first watercolor pieces that I'd done in about 20 years. So that'll be going up for auction. I'm not sure what we're going to start that at, but I'll be talking to Fisher about that today, and it should be up in the next couple of hours from where you are. And then we also have Cerebus in Hell last week, which is, let me just get this open here, the 16 February 2018, with all of the bits and pieces that went into those. There's definitely 2 Jingles strips, 2 the CGC Dog Comics Collector Jingles. There's 2 of those strips with Jingles and Cerebus in them. Actually, I'm lying, there's 3. I forgot I did 3 of those. And got Cerebus and Dante in Virgil in this one, and Cerebus and Dante in Virgil in this one, about Astoria's memoirs coming out. See, tough in the hashtag #MeToo age. Let's see. So yeah, we got a couple of those, and then we also have a Cerebus, Francis, and Dante and Virgil strip. So you got all 4 characters in that one. So those can be personalized, or they're already signed in the corner. Dave Sim, 16 February 2018. So we're going to keep doing that. We're going to, as long as I can keep doing 7 strips a week, which has been getting tougher all the time, but I've been managing to keep up with it. We'll be auctioning off the originals the following Friday. And the last auction item for this week, you can see, is the original tracing paper finished pencils for Stan Drake, Alex Raymond, and the fatal 1956 Corvette. That's from page 2. Actually, I think it's page 5 now of The Strange Death of Alex Raymond. Anyway, it's about 9 inches by 12 inches, and like I say, finished pencil. If you're talking original artwork from The Strange Death of Alex Raymond, Stan Drake, 1956 Corvette. You can't do better than that. Okay, and remember when I told you that Watchvark #1 was currently the rarest Cerebus #1 outside of the original Cerebus #1 from 1977. 2,000 copies of the original Cerebus #1 and 3,300 copies of Watchvark. And it looked like Watchvark was going to hold on to that title because the amazing Cerebus #1 shipped 3,700 copies, 400 copy increase. But now we have a new champion, World's Finite Cerebus #1. Drop of 1,000 copies from 3,700 down to 2,750. Well, okay, 950 copies, but just a lesson there that stores are not really fond of parodies of 1940s DC superhero comics. It's a parody of World's Finest #7. I used to have a World's Finest #7. So I thought, oh, this will be great. This will be funny. I know exactly what I want to do with this, and I still think it's funny. I think it's a great comic book. But no, they're looking for X-Men or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or parodies of things that sell a lot, not parodies of things that only 2 of my customers even know what that's a reference to. So yeah, there's 2,750 copies of World's Finite Cerebus #1, supposed to be in the stores at the end of March, March 30th, March 31st. I forget what the Wednesday is. But the way things have been going, Watchvark ended up being in the stores 3 weeks before it was supposed to be, 6 weeks before it was supposed to be, something like that. So sometime between now and the end of March, the fewest Cerebus #1s that have ever been in comic stores since 1977 will be in stores. I wish I could narrow it down for you. Definitely stay tuned to your store, and if they're supposed to get you one of these, Might be worth a phone call or a text or an email saying, can you make sure that I'm getting one of those World's Finite Cerebus number ones? Okay, and that will do it for the weekly update this week. And I hope we'll see a bunch of you next week for a weekly update. I think it's March 2nd.